muro babutse bana lengane.
Mara kana ngirong. Road wale bamavenda bali damati. Kumavenda.
Uzitela bana basimafore.
Phela una lokulela kujimo.
Boklisto ebutsi.
Ubuthi. Yeah. Hayi bawena hayi bawuraso bona maforeigner bavula badlala nje.
Ghost town. Ghost town.
Not even one shop.
Ghost town.
Not
Left,
even one
right,
shop.
center. Left, right, center. No shop open here. You know, Yusuf is open.
Only you say.
Fruit and veg is open.
Yeah. Can you say? Ah.
Yes, please. Ibox ayivuliwe bahlali. Apha kuvaliwe la. Kuvaliwe yonke indawo uphepha bakhamens.
Come toilet come.
Namavenda nanka avulile la bafuna ipapa ngazi nizohamba kanjani. Uma ningenazo imfanelo. La ngoba phithizela kakhulu namhlanje isiphithiphithi asikho.
Ngathi yo Sunday.
Ngathi Sunday ngathi yabona nje lapha kume kanjani. Semolo few individuals that ne parking iningi kakhulu la pakala uthanda khona. Pakala uthanda khona iparking into ezilahle. Uyabona uma ungena nje molo ukuthi mnandi namhlanje ngibhakela khona la eqaleni.
Empty.
30 June 2026. Businesses are down. The streets are as silent as a lonely night in the Night Valley. As you can see, businesses are closed. Where are people? But we are die.
It's the 30th of June, around past 8. Ningbona nje ngiboshile. I'm full of shit today. Ngisebenzisa nje inkani yami nje. Full of shit nje enamasimba. Matter of fact ngihleli eceleni kwa amasimba.
This is probably one of the worst way to handle what is happening right now. So tomorrow is the anti-immigration shutdown, and the position that the state seems to be taking is that you will be met with the full force of the law. Now, if you think back to 2023, the state had a similar approach when there was a shutdown then. And the problem with the state choosing this position when these national shutdowns are organized is they hardly ever engage with the reasoning behind the shutdown, but they make it very clear and they follow through on using the power of the state against its own citizens. And the thing is, when you are in leadership in the country and your people bring an issue to you, and instead of engaging with the issue, you engage harder with the response to the issue than the actual issue that people have been raising, you don't take them further away from that position, you bolster them into it. And I think that's intentional. Because now they don't have to answer for unemployment, wealth inequality, spatial apartheid, the housing crisis, education crisis, transportation crisis. They don't have to answer for anything, or any of those issues. Now they can just come forward and be like, we're going to clamp down on this. This is just going to be a normal day. So they get to paint themselves as the heroes tomorrow for saying, look, we've maintained order, we've maintained peace, we've kept everything in line. And the issues that have led to this, they're like, we'll get to that. We'll get there. And I need us to be very careful with how we engage this topic. And even how you engage the leadership of movements like this. Because when you attack somebody's leadership, you don't necessarily take the people that are under that leadership away from them. Because those people have empowered those leaders because they saw themselves or they saw the issues in what that leader is advocating for. So being condescending and insulting and spreading misinformation about the leadership of any movement is not necessarily going to take them away from, it's not going to get rid of their, I can't say constituents because they're not political parties, but I think you get what I'm trying to say. And doubling down, and I want to say this carefully, doubling down on how I've seen at least the media and prominent figures and academics and that kind of stuff, like how I've seen them maybe not engage people, but engage other leaders. And I understand maybe you feel about the leaders of the movement, you feel however you feel about them, but the people in that movement are watching how you engage with them. And they are watching the disrespect and the disdain and the insults and whatever. And the people who are in those movements are there because they have very real issues that they are facing. And so when you disrespect somebody who's seen to be fighting for them, you don't take them away from that leadership. You push them further in. And this is how you end up with Trump. I need us to be very careful. This is how you end up with leadership like his. Because instead of engaging with what poor white America was dealing with, certain actors in society leveraged off that to gain power. But I mean, Trump said this actually, like I think in a leaked note, he said like if he wanted to run for president, he would just run Republican, he would do X, Y, and Z, and then he did exactly that. Now, if we were talking about AfriForum or solidarity, I couldn't give less of a dingus about the people supporting that movement. Like I truly don't care. But in this case, these are working class black and colored South Africans. This is the literal backbone of the country that we are advocating for and fighting for every day to get out of oppression, to move into what real democracy is. Like this is, you know what I mean? This is not a bunch of privileged people getting together and donating thousands of rands every month. It's not that. This is not the people. These are not the people that I would want, or I believe anybody that I associate with would want to be sidelining. And I feel like that's what we're doing with how we're handling this. And I feel like the people who are getting away with this is people who benefit from illegal immigration in terms of cheap or often low-cost labor. The state, who doesn't have to be accountable for very much, because now they can just push all the attention on this. And then whoever the bad actors are in these movements who are actually who I believe at least are actually xenophobic and actually Afrophobic, and are not in it just because they want to have some kind of job security and have themselves and their families provided for. We need to move lekker.
Okay, sharp. Bo o sibatse bang hantle ba file ma Nigeria kuku le ba kutu ba Mozambique le ba makhongo bo ba Ghana ba tshwere dipara tsa motlakase ka bo ba tshwere pipe tsena tse itsang di borehole o tsho bana o le borehole ha o sa tsamaye o tlo fa manna ma ba fitiditsa ka le mama Nigeria o tlo fa bo ma o yeme ka pele bilo ma ba hamba ya eng lo yana o ka tsama how to hack lo yana hack ba se le morago ha o tla ntlola fa le Nigeria kuku ka mmila le wena o tlo fa manna ma o e kgathaditsa ka le ka batho ba ba jantse tse sa itsebeng ba ja makoko wa dikgomo ka ja kokolo ya dikgomo energy o ba enka ka a ke le rona di 2 minutes ka mmila le ba se le morago hack le nna ka fete I hope 300 tsa mele ya Ghana le 300 ba sa di tsamaile.